800-266-1392. Again, www.trlsystems.com or call toll-free at 800-266-1392. So come out Thursday, July 16th and get your career started. TRL Systems, when reliability counts. That's a look at the community calendar on KCAA 1050 AM.
The KCAA Community Calendar is presented exclusively by Learn for Life, a growing network of public charter schools where students can complete their education on a part-time basis. To find a resource center nearest you, call 1-877-360-LEARN or visit Learn for Life online at learn4life.org. KCAA, where every day is a great day. KCAA, Loma Linda.
Greetings and welcome to KCAA 1050 on your AM radio dial. The show is What's It All About? I'm Dr. Donald Jolly Gabriel, and we're here today to talk about the human brain and injury that can come to the brain. Okay, we have a guest, Dr. Swelling. Dr. Swelling, are you on with us?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, it's Olga. The call dropped.
Hi, Olga. Greetings to you. I'm also interested in talking to Dr. Swelling. We might have lost him. Olga, what's going on?
Oh, I'm sorry. There was like a beeping sound behind. I'm sorry.
Are you okay now? Can you hear?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great. So what do you want to talk about?
Well, it was myself and Dr. Swingley where we're going to discuss about from the Brain Trauma Research Institute.
I'm excited. I'm very excited, but we seem to have lost Dr. Swelling.
Oh, okay.
That's our technical problem for the moment. Are you guys in the same building?
No, we're not. Right now, I'm in Tarzana, and I believe he's out in Costa Mesa right now.
Okay. Maybe you could call him and ask him to call in again.
You want for me to call and ask him to call again?
Yeah, because we've lost him. He's not online.
Okay, will do. I will call him right now.
All right, greetings. I want to talk to you guys anyway about health, our bodies, our minds, our brains. You know,
yes.
I am always telling our listeners that they are responsible for the quality of their health and the quality of their body. And today We're going to be talking about the brain, as you well know, Olga. And the brain, the human brain, is a very intricate mechanism that is our real computer that runs our lives, basically. And we don't take very good care of it. We take better care, I think, of our computers than we do our brain. And I want to remind us that what we put into our mouth is what runs our body. You're not going to pee in the gas tank of your car because you know that's not going to work. You're not going to put Clorox bleach in the gas tank of your car because it's not going to work. So what do? You have to put in what works. And so when I talk about nutrition, I'm talking about you put in what works. And I want to encourage you and remind you, as I always do, to be very conscious of what you eat, what you put into your body. And I want to tell you again and remind you what is the worst evil demon from the deepest, darkest pit of hell. And that is sugar for the human body. Sugar is evil. Stay away from it. Any kind of sugar. You know, the only kind of sugar that you should be able to tolerate is eating some fruit. And that's my advice to you. And if you follow that advice, the quality of your life will go up dramatically. Every time we eat a lot of carbs, we convert to glucose immediately. We do that long enough, diabetes will result without question. So wise up. Understand that you got to love yourself enough to treat yourself the very best way you possibly can. Okay, that's my preliminary advice. I think we have Dr. Swelling back on the line, do we not?
Yeah, hi, you guys.
Dr. Swelling, greetings to you and welcome to What's It All About? Olga, are you there?
Yes, I am.
All right. Well, you know, there are tens of thousands of veterans out there that are suffering, and some of them pretty intently. I'm very intimately involved with a lot of people. I wander the streets of Venice and Naples about every 2 months. in order to check out who's homeless there and what's going on and what they're doing and their mental condition. And I am totally appalled. I'm appalled. Most all of them are on psych drugs, and they're out of it, wandering around, unable to relate to their families. Their marriages fall apart. And they're being treated. Oh, they're being treated for PTSD. Absolutely are. And what good is it doing? It's got them in a mess. So I think that, Dr. Swelling, what you want to do is absolutely incredible. And I want you to explain in both of your own ways. You interact the way you want to interact, but I want you to explain to us what you're doing. I know you're working on a Brain Research Institute project. I know that you have a lot of good things involved in this, and you're going to want to treat family members, how to deal with and care for and be more sensitive. So I'm going to turn this part of the show over to both of you and let you explain what you want to do and how you want to do it. And I may interject with some questions from time to time.
Sure. Well, we really appreciate the opportunity to share with your listeners what is one of the most exciting projects that is going to share experience with thousands of vets countrywide who are desperately seeking some kind of support in what they're trying to deal with. Let us understand the scope of this project. We were all shocked when we started doing research and found that there are over 27,000, let me repeat that, 27,000 support groups across the country that are trying to seek the kind of support for, as you can imagine, hundreds of thousands of veterans that are desperately seeking help. What we came up with after some very special experience in working with vets, that the only way that we were going to be able to reach out to hundreds of thousands of vets was to offer a coaching program that would coach vets who want to complete a special coaching program that will certify them to become caregivers to other vets.
So who will be coached?
The great vision here is for us to have a response, as we are starting to respond to, of thousands of vets who really feel that they would like to become a participant in this program.
Dr. Swelling, please explain to our audience who is going to be the priority people that you will be training to deal with the veterans' problems.
Yeah, interesting question, because the recruiting will be a kind of volunteer project that will submit what is eligible of those vets from the different support groups across the country that will want to participate in this certification process that will enable them to become caregivers to other vets.
So they're going.
It's a very exciting project that has as its core a resource manual that has been developed over the last 2 or 3 years in the kind of guidelines for a lifestyle and things like nutrition, everything that would help to improve the life experience of these vets in a way that they're not able to benefit from in the current situation.
Dr. Swelling, what methodologies are currently being used to try to help heal these people? I know that a lot of these soldiers, in fact, a couple 100,000 of them, are on psych drugs. They're on a combination of psych drugs. I know that the cost of these psych drugs runs anywhere from $6,000 to $7,000 a month, which I would imagine is a kind of a lifetime sentence because they're being treated. But I've never seen anybody really improve from all of these drugs, and I'd like to have your reaction on that, and also any information you have on anything that is being done that you feel might be helpful.
Well, we have extensive evidence, Doc, that the body has an amazing potential to heal itself when you are given the right kind of support. So the philosophy that drives this whole project is an advanced model that helps each individual to understand the potential to heal themselves. The kind of resource manual that has guidance so that each of these participants who feel that they are eligible and they have the control and willingness, the kind of willingness to want to participate in this science, in healing themselves. That is where the true healing comes from, when you're helping the body to heal itself. We start off with an extensive health assessment questionnaire, which really goes into the history of the participant in a self-scoring assessment evaluation.
Okay, I want to stop right here for a minute, just a minute. I'm interested in knowing, before we go on in this area, is there anything that you're going to include in the program that is being done to literally assist in the healing of the brain tissue? And I think what you're doing, I want to learn more about what you're doing, but as time goes on, I don't want us to forget that we need to look at what is being done. I know the drugs that they're taking is one of the things that's being done. Are you aware of anything else that's being done that might be effective that you're going to include in your program?
Yeah, clearly everything that is included in the program has proven to assist, whether it is concussion, brain trauma, TBI as well, PTSD, and it relates to understanding the neuromuscular responses and particularly working with biofeedback technology, because that allows us to first identify where the imbalances are in the brain's structures, and then with various technologies that we include in what we describe generally as biofeedback, that we can help to restore the balance.
Are there any
in many different ways, and particularly if you are going to support it with the kind of nutrition that helps to deliver nutrients that we've identified that are, for example, anti-inflammatory. Those are proven protocols that actually work to help restore a lot of what is the cause of their stress, their imbalances, their uncontrolled behavior. So we know that there are these techniques that do help them.
Okay, now I want to interject again. A lot of these soldiers are victims of percussive events. They've been involved in some kind of explosive activity. Obviously, they're not blown up and they don't catch on fire and turn into ash, but the brain is a very, very sensitive organ, and the brain can be injured without you hitting your head. You can just have a jar or a quick movement that causes the brain to hit the inside of the skull, and then you have a concussion. And there's certain problems with that because ultimately concussion will cause all kinds of behavior issues and things like that. What I'm interested in too is that, have you run across anything that might help heal the brain tissue specifically? I know that nutrition is very important. Biofeedback, neurofeedback can be very, very helpful as well, and I think including that is masterful. But are there any other things that might be included to actually help the brain tissue heal that you're aware of yet?
Well, it's very interesting because a major development in the whole subject here relates to evidence that it doesn't have to be an injury. We are finding that the symptoms that lead to brain trauma in all of its different categories can also be related back to stress, particularly severe or recurring stress that triggers off a hormonal reaction. Probably a lot of your listeners are familiar with what we describe as the fight or flight mechanism, and we are finding that this has a rebounding effect that is causing the brain trauma, so that there are a lot of veterans who have symptoms where it's assumed that it is the result of an injury, whereas in fact it is very clear that it can be a cumulative development of stress. And of course these guys had daily stress without having an injury.
Yes, of course, and that is something that is cumulative and can be disastrous, absolutely disastrous. Now, in this whole process of what you're doing, how do you fund it? How are you paying for it? Obviously, if you're taking on the responsibility of training some of these people in how to cope with and how to support the process that these soldiers have to go through, isn't that going to take some money and a whole lot of effort?
Well, the whole success of the project, of course, depends on how we're going to get the support of people that really want to support this project. We are finding that there are a lot of veterans that have successful businesses, as an example. We are working with grant applications because of the nature of the project that is going to be offering the kind of help to a population of hundreds of thousands that can be given some kind of guidance to what we describe as a self-help support program. But vets are coming forward offering to help with sponsorships to help themselves to get treatment and coaching. And other vets who are offering to attract sponsors to be able to cover the treatment of these vets.
How much will something like this cost? How much will it cost? What is going to be the cost of?
It depends on the kind of treatment. It can range from a few thousand to anything up to 15 to 25,000.
And what kind of you're going to use some neurofeedback or biofeedback, and what other modalities will you use?
Well, one of the most successful techniques is with what you are familiar with, that is hyperbaric oxygen. This is something that has been offered over the years, but we're getting cumulative evidence with a number of sessions, and we are finding how to support the hyperbaric therapy with other technologies to accelerate and enhance the outcome of the hyperbaric.
You know, that's a very wise thing to do. I was involved in treating some brain-injured soldiers about 10 years ago and still do. with hyperbaric therapy, and neurofeedback, biofeedback really accelerate. They really interact well together. For whatever reason. I don't understand the physiology of it, actually. I do know that, obviously, that hyperbaric oxygen therapy reduces inflammation dramatically, and it encourages the healing of injured tissue, whether it be external or internal, anywhere. But I don't know, and I've looked at a lot of brain scans. Dr. Daniel Amen has been involved in this for a long, long time, and he was our neighbor for many years. I worked a few hundred feet from him for about 12 years and interacted with a lot of his patients, and he's able to take these brain SPECT scans and really make a pretty good analysis of what's going on. So I think you guys are on the right track with all of this, and it would be very exciting if we could create some kind of media that would really educate people on what needs to be done and how it's going to be done and how they can help. How can anybody help or get more information on what you're doing?
Well, I would be very happy to provide you with the contact information. We also have a website that is braintraumaresearchinstitute.org.
braintraumaresearchinstitute.org. Okay.
It's a work in progress, but this is going to be a resource that is going to share with many specialists in the field. We are testing a new technology, which I imagine you're also familiar with, that is called CVAC, which is a chamber like a pod that has the opposite to what the hyperbaric does. It's an elevated level of oxygen, similar to if you were on the Big Bear Mountain and you're breathing in the elevated oxygen. It has a very enhancing effect in combination or alternating with the hyperbaric.
You know, this is the same thing that happens when they take athletes up to 10,000 feet to practice, because the oxygen level there is depleted dramatically, and their body has to work harder to absorb more oxygen to support what they're doing. So it's kind of an exercise in let's get used to having less oxygen so that our body is supported in increasing its capability of breathing more because there's less oxygen in the air. That's what CVAC does, and it is very, very exciting therapy. We have one of these near one of our hyperbaric chambers, and it's just absolutely exciting. And it can actually take the place of taking the athletes up to the mountains to practice, because it really helps force them to breathe better, and that's exciting. How did you ever discover anything like that it worked?
Well, you know, we are researchers at heart, and we're always seeking some kind of technology or procedure, whatever it may be, that would help the objective, which is to help to reverse the brain trauma in whatever form it presents. And that's how we found CVAC. They were using that for high-performance sports people and also in fitness because of its impact, the way it has an impact in everything down to the mitochondrial level. It improves the production of the red blood cells to carry more oxygen. So more and more we are finding the combination of different technologies that are accelerating the outcome from a combination. Keep in mind that more and more of our evidence is that the body has an amazing potential to heal itself, whether it's physical, mental, or emotional. We are advancing the science in such a way that we've never been able to do in the past.
Okay, so what I hear you saying right now, and I want to accentuate this. I want to really accentuate this because you're on here for a little while, and we want our listeners to really understand what's going on here. We have a couple 100,000 people who are taking a lot of drugs. Some of them are becoming zombies. I meet them all the time. I'm not talking because I read it in a book. I'm not talking because I read some statistics. I'm talking because I meet these people. I walk with them. I have lunch with them. I take them sandwiches. I see these living zombies who are homeless who have this problem. Now, what you're telling us, very important that we remember this. There are some alternatives. You are reminding us constantly that the body has the capacity to heal, and that's very true, and it's very exciting, but we have to do special things to activate that. And so here's what I heard you say. I heard you say that biofeedback or neurofeedback, whatever you want to use in that area, is a very attractive methodology to help stimulate the brain and affect the body. Then you mentioned that the CVAC, which is a very important mechanism that helps people to receive more activated oxygen, and that is very helpful from a physiological standpoint. And then you're talking about hyperbaric oxygen therapy that we already know is very helpful. We already have our own group that's done research on hyperbaric oxygen, and we see over 50% of the people that have been involved in treatment are improving dramatically. And then you have the other things you're doing to support them psychologically and emotionally. This is a totally different methodology of dealing with these soldiers than we're dealing with the drug companies. Totally different. And I want everybody to understand that. And this supports what you, Dr. Swelling, are saying, that we want the body to activate its healing processes at the highest possible level, and we are going to do the things that do that. Giving them drugs does not do that. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right, that's what I want everybody to hear. Now, another thing I want to do, I want to remind everybody that the information that's on this website is important. And I know that every time we give out a phone number or a website, you guys are listening or doing other things or cleaning house while you're listening to the radio or whatever, and we give out a phone number or a website and you don't get it. So I'm going to give all of you a chance, maybe 10 or 15 seconds, to grab a pen or a pencil and a piece of paper and write down the information that Dr. Swelling will give us in a couple of seconds. So go grab your pen, go grab your pencil, go grab your piece of paper so you can permanentize the address and you can look it up. All right? So I'm giving you a couple of chances to do that right now. And then, Dr. Swelling, you can give us a couple of times, any information that you want us to have that will help people get in touch with more information on what's happening. So you're on.
Yeah, and we have another exciting surprise for your listeners. And I'm going to take this opportunity because I don't want such an opportunity to be missed. We have got Olga on the other line, who is a veteran that has 2 tours in Iraq, and she has been really attracted to the whole project that we are developing, and she is now working to bring together wives of veterans in support groups.
Hey,
that are going to help.
Dr. Swelling, this sounds absolutely incredible. And before we take our break, I want Olga to talk to us a little bit about what she's doing, what her plans are. And Olga, tell us about you. I mean, being a veteran, coming back from all of that chaos and all of that stuff that's going on over there has to be utterly traumatic. Can you give us a quick share, and then Dr. Swelling, after our break, can talk a little bit more about what he was talking about?
Sure. I was active duty Army. I did 2 years in Iraq with my unit. I was a signal soldier, and I experienced a lot of, the experiences that a lot of us go when we deploy. But I was having situations, and I didn't want to admit that, you don't come back the way you left. You're not the same person. But at the same time, I didn't feel like I was entitled to get treatment because I wasn't wounded. There's other people that are worse off, and I think that's what a lot of us vets do. We suffer in silence because we're not willing to. We always figure somebody else's, another vet is worse off, and we don't want to utilize resources because somebody that needs them more is going to miss out. And so through the journey of my own process, I became a certified hypnotherapist. And the power of the mind and the power of the body, mind, and spirit is, it is a very powerful tool. It can really heal itself, when you have the right tools. And I was introduced to Dr. Swinley through another hypnotherapist, certified hypnotherapist, and sharing that same vision. I was very excited to meet all that he's doing, and in reiterating how, he really has developed a great program for vets to become certified caregivers. And through this treatment, there's so much that is offered, and I'm very excited about it in that respect that, we've realized that along with veterans, there's also the wife, the spouse that sees a lot of things that, behind the doors that no one else sees. And, they too have a voice, and they too need help, in their lives, because when we deploy, the spouses get put aside. The medical, all the resources are for us first because we got to get out there, and then the family, then the wife and the kids. But there's always units deploying, and they always get put aside. Their careers, if they, depending on what the unit goes, they don't always have a job, or their entrepreneur business gets put aside because depending on where they're at around the world, they may not be allowed to do their business. So there's a lot of, there's two sides, or there's many sides actually, the veterans, the spouse, the kids that, need support, need medical attention, and the things that are out there aren't as successful as we'd like them to be. And so this is how I got involved in this. I do believe in the power of the mind and the power of ourselves to heal ourselves and utilize tools, and to meet Dr. Swinley, and, with him, there's a group of other doctors sharing the same visions. There's chiropractors, acupuncturists, DOs, auricular therapy. There's so many things that they're utilizing, and they have proven that, you can heal yourself and not have to be drugged all the time in order to get a healthier life.
Olga, that is absolutely so important, because drugging somebody up to try to get them to heal doesn't heal them. It causes all kinds of problems. I see all of that. Have you ever observed that anything that would validate my opinion?
Absolutely. Before I became a certified hypnotherapist, I was actually, as I said, I was a signal soldier, and I was actually going through school to get certifications, get my the background in technology back up so I could get back out there and work in the technical industry. But I was seeing other vets, we were taking computer programming classes, all these technical classes, and I was going to different campuses to get these courses. And I met vets that, they came to school, and it was almost an eerie feeling it was like deja vu, because one vet came upset, angry, just came from the VA, and he says, I just came from the VA. I talked to the doctor, and I told him, I'm using alcohol, I'm smoking pot, all these drugs aren't helping me. Some of them almost committed suicide on, hallucinate on some of them, and the thing that these vets repeated, and it just really brought chills to my back, was I got a coffee table full of medication, and none of it worked. Some of it I almost killed myself with. I hallucinated, and I just want to give up sometimes. And he goes, I got the right drugs. I can just take any of these drugs and OD on them, and I can just be done with it. And that's the thing that stuck with me, and that's why I decided to change my career, and that's why I became a certified hypnotherapist. And thankfully, in this path, I have met, Dr. Swinley and other people that share the same vision that there is a better way.
Well, Olga, there certainly is a better way. And you brought up something, too, that Dr. Swinley brought up that I think is very important. Because of the special nature of these emotional, psychological, and sometimes physiological injuries. The family and close friends of some of the service people that come back are not equipped. They are not equipped to deal with what's happening in the real world, and to teach them. Dr. Swelling mentioned, and you mentioned, to certify some people. Well, to me, that means to enhance their capability dealing with and understanding and behaving appropriately with and supporting, and then also helping them as a caregiver perhaps. But the idea of supporting the family in dealing with the problems kind of reminds me of something like Al-Anon, which is a sister to AA, and is something that's very, very important, and the support groups that are involved in helping people deal with the problem. I think this is a stroke of genius, and I think it should be really, really pushed, and I certainly want to help do that, and you seem to agree with that. Is that correct?
Yes, I do.
So, I mean, you're there. You know, you're part of the game here. You're not an outsider looking in, and so you should be really proud that you can give some meaningful advice, and that your opinions are coming from reality, not theory. And a lot of this stuff, especially the drug stuff, is coming from opinions.
Olga, just tell the listeners what you are doing to set up support groups that will meet with every kind of support service that we can bring together to help to really repair relationships.
Okay, Olga, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm doing a veterans' wife support group. In this group, one of the things is a veteran to become caregiver certified. And what this is going to help, this tool is, when you certify as a wife, she's a very valuable tool and support in a vet's life. And when you certify her, not only because she helps herself, but she can help her spouse in overcoming all the problems that a vet faces from being deployed, from PTSD, anxiety, behavior outbursts, and a big part of this too. The wife, if you take care of yourself, then you can help somebody else. If you can't use a tool to help yourself,
that's very true.
What I like about this. We're helping the wives help take care of themselves, and they can extend and be support to the vet, to the husband, and getting the help that they need. And so I think that's where it's going to be such a valuable tool, because the wife is a big important role in this whole healing of veterans.
Well, I think that's very important. I think we've established that, and it's a good thing to establish, because without special prompting and teaching and training, a family can fall apart. Absolutely fall apart. Okay, this is time for a station break. This is Dr. Donald Jolly Gabriel on What's It All About? KCAA Radio, 1050 on your AM dial. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Hyperbaric oxygen therapy has only lately begun to gain recognition for treatment of chronic degenerative health problems, including stroke, diabetic ulcers, wound healing, brain injury, and many other disorders. Whenever blood flow and oxygen delivery to vital organs is reduced, healing can potentially be aided with hyperbaric oxygen therapy.
Are you a candidate for hyperbaric oxygen therapy?
Contact Dr. Donald Jolly Gabriel, PhD, for a free consultation and see if this groundbreaking therapy can help you. Mention KCAA and get a free gift. Call toll-free 1-877-423-7986. That's 1-877-423-7986.
Or go to hyperbaric-solutions.com. That's www.hyperbaric-solutions.com.
Call toll-free right now, 1-877-423-7986. Hyperbaric Oxygen Therapy.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Behind on your payments or barely making minimums? Do your massive interest payments have you running like mad in circles? How long can you keep it up? Stop running. Let the Thomas & Law Group carefully plan your escape. The Thomas & Law Group has proven itself for over 18 solid years, helping thousands of people like you and me reclaim our financial future. They have an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau and offices in all 50 states. And the best part? There are no upfront fees at all. You won't pay a dime until the job's done. No upfront costs, no monthly fees, no banking fees. No other law firm does that. I'm a paid spokesperson, not a lawyer, and every case is different. But really, if you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt, call the Thomas & Law Group right away for a free, no-obligation consult with a trained legal analyst at 800-460-9790. Call now because you're tired of running in circles. 800-460-9790. 800-460-9790.
Slam the door on FeePay. Forget everything you know about selling online because I'm here to tell you about a new and revolutionary way to buy and sell on the internet. BuySellMakeOffer.com is here to shake up the web. Tired of paying those outrageous fees? You'll never pay a fee with BuySellMakeOffer.com. For a monthly membership package starting at only $7.95, you can list and sell up to 50 items. That would cost you nearly $100 with the other guys. Go right now to BuySellMakeOffer.com and sign up today.
We know you're there. We can hear you talking on AM 1050 KCAA.
Welcome back. Welcome back to What's It All About. This is Dr. Donald Jolly Gabriel on KCAA Radio, 1050 on your AM radio dial. And we are in the middle of talking about veterans and a plan that Dr. Swelling has put together to help them, to train family members to deal with them in a more appropriate way, which will save marriages. Many of the marriages falling apart. I see it all the time. So that's a good thing. Dr. Swelling has come up with some practical methodologies of actually treating the people, not depending upon drugs to alter their behavior and make zombies out of them, which is very, very exciting. So, Dr. Swelling, we have about 6.5 minutes left in the show, so I'm going to let you talk a little bit. I'll interrupt you with some questions, and Olga, you're there too, so if you have anything to add, please do so. So, Dr. Swelling, you're on.
Okay, first of all, you had everyone look for a pen. Let me give you the telephone number where we would encourage calls in any aspect, and of course any kind of support that can be directed to successful development. Every one of us will be very grateful. The number is 800-392-6114.
And will somebody answer, or is it a recording that they put their information on, or how do they deal with this number?
Yeah, clearly they can leave a voicemail, and we have the support staff that would get back with any kind of information that is being requested through this number. We also have an email, which is Myra, that's Mayra, at Brain Trauma Research Institute.org. .com. In this case, it's .com as compared to what is correct in looking at the website, which is .org.
Okay, you want to say that? Say these numbers and things again, just so that we'll have repetition to ensure that people, if they missed anything, will get it.
The telephone number is 800-392-6114. The email is Myra, that's Myra, Mayra Let me repeat that. MAYRA at braintraumaresearchinstitute.com.
Okay, thank you for that very much.
So thank you for that opportunity. Perhaps the best thing is also to highlight the fact that vets who return after duty find it very difficult to adjust to their previous lifestyle in a marriage situation that is probably the source of so many unhappy marriages, divorces, and this is something that we know from experience in the small amounts that we've been able to help, that this really can change what is an unhappy marriage into something of a new experience.
Well, it needs attention. It needs attention because right now things are actually falling apart, and it's very, very sad. I'd like to use this opportunity to also offer a free movie to anyone who is listening to the show, and I'll give you a number you can call, and we'll send it to you. And it deals with this business of brain injury and the post-traumatic stress syndrome or disorder situation. The name of the film is Brainstorm, and it is a film that many of us got together and put up some money to make, and we had the film school in Los Angeles actually make the film. It's made by students. It was a project, and it's a very interesting film. We got involved some congressmen and Senate people who have been very familiar with the whole problem of these veterans, and I would very much offer you free this film. You can call area code 949-680-1915, and I will repeat that number. It is area code 949-680-1915, and just simply request the film Brainstorm. If you don't remember that, request the film on the brain, and you'll enjoy it. I think it's a very interesting thing, and it'll let you know some of the background work that we've been involved in with Congress. We even got together and hired a lobbyist to work with the Congress to further some of the things that we're working on, and it was a very, very thing that to do because it was very good, a very good thing. Now we have great competition with the lobbyists from the pharmaceutical companies who are trying to slow down what we want to do without the pharmaceuticals, or, using them when needed appropriately, but not making them the major source of treatment. So any last moment thoughts, Dr. Swelling?
Well, clearly, we have a model that is the first of its kind that offers some help to the large numbers of these vets. The success of this project will depend on the kind of support that we will get from sponsors, and we are really praying that will become very, very substantial to be able to respond to these many thousands of vets.
And there are many thousands. I mean, we're talking at least a couple 100,000 people. That's an awful lot of people, and those people have been hurt. They've been injured. Their lives are affected because they responded and got involved in all kinds of activities, some of which may have been good, some of which not good, but they got involved in activities that hurt them and really distorted their capabilities emotionally, psychologically, physiologically, in every way. And we owe them a great debt, and we owe them the opportunity and the wherewithal to heal. And Dr. Swelling, I praise you for coming up with this program, and I wish you the greatest success that you can possibly have in doing it. And hopefully you'll come back on in a couple of months and give us a report of what's going on. And maybe you can call in a couple of weeks and just tell us of any progress you're making and what's new and what's happening. I'd like that too very much.
Well, we're really grateful for the time and being able to share with you and your listeners this very exciting project.
Well, that's good. I want to remind you of something, that the programs are all archived on the computer of the station and the website, and I'm asking our producer and engineer to listen to this so that he can add anything, and maybe you should do that. But here's what we want to do. We want to encourage you to be able to listen to this show again by getting on the website, which is kcaaradio.com. And I'm not quite so sure what they do after they get into the website. Can you help us understand?
Yes, Dr. Jolly. If he wants to listen to your podcast.
Yes, if you want to listen to my podcast,
okay.
do this.
You're on every Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Okay. So you look up the Wednesday format.
Okay, so you look up the Wednesday format once you get into kcaaradio.com.
You see Dr. Jolly's smiling face right there.
Okay.
Okay, you punch that in. It said podcast.
Is my name near my smiling face?
Yes, it is.
Okay, good, because my smiling face isn't going to be visible. Nobody's going to know it.
So now all your shows have been archived right there. So he has a number. He or she has a number of shows to choose from.
So how do they get this particular show?
Well, this show would, as of today, would pop up on your podcast. It would have the date.
The date.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And all he or she has to do is to punch that particular date in, and voila, Dr. Jolly shows up.
And then do they have the right to record the show too? Download it?
Yes, sir. They can do anything they would like to do with that.
Amen. Okay, everybody knows now. See, you can hear the show over and over again, get all the information you want. Any show we've done some pretty crazy shows.
Fantastic shows. I've learned a lot from you.
Well, amen. That's a good thing, right?
I think so.
Okay, fantastic. Thanks for your help. All right, Dr. Swelling, Olga, all the listeners, I just wish you all that you are going to dedicate yourself more vehemently and more courageously to really growth and health, and understand that you are a created being from an incredible God who gave you a body that is unfathomable. It is almost impossible to understand the intricacies involved in our human body, let alone our mind, our spirituality, and all those things that we find it difficult to perceive. I want to encourage you all to take responsibility for who you are as a person and make it a point to become the very best you can in everything you do. Your responsibility to yourself. Feed yourself properly. Fuel yourself properly. Don't put crap through your lips, because it'll become cellular and it will affect you, and it will lower your level of life, and it will lower the quality of your life, and it'll make your life shorter, and it could make you create a lot of misery for yourself in your life. So honor and love yourself. And be true to your commitments. And understand in your marriages and in your relationships to make agreements. Things don't work because we don't make agreements. And I want to tell you, if the agreement between the sun and the earth was broken by a matter of a couple of inches, we would either burn up instantly or be frozen forever. And if the agreement between gravity and other things that keep things going were broken, we'd have chaos. That's why we have so much chaos in our lives, because we don't even make agreements, let alone keep them. So anyway, God bless everybody, and be open to those blessings and have the courage to act upon them. And we'll be back next Wednesday at 3 o'clock. Take care. This is Dr. Donald Jolly Gabriel signing off on KCAA 1050 on your AM radio dial.
This is KCAA Loma Linda, the station that leaves no listener behind. CNBC News is next, a courtesy of buysellmakeoffer.com, where you can post a video about items you have for sale. Sign up now. It's free.
Which added another 3.3 million worldwide subscribers. Fed Chair Janet Yellen, impressed by the economy's turnaround from this past winter and expecting the U.S. labor market to see even more gains, says the central bank is on track to hike interest rates later this year. And Google began testing a buy button shopping tool, allowing people to buy items directly from mobile search ads. Tom Busby, CNBC.
Have you had trouble with online dating? This is eHarmony founder Dr. Neil Clark Warren.